За що і чому вони?
Hello and welcome to Ukrainian Perspective. I'm Anna Jabońska. Today is Ukraine's Vyshyvanka Day, a holiday that salutes the traditional Ukrainian costume. On that day, Ukrainians wear embroidered shirts with colorful patterns. In the reality of war, the holiday is an opportunity to unite refugees, but also to integrate with the nation invaded by Russia. With me to talk about the holiday are Katarina Voivoda from New York, from Lviv, Olena Kossak, and with me in the studio is Emma Zachynaiko. Thank you all for joining us.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Here.
So, Emma, Vyshyvanka Day, from what I read, is not a religious holiday. It is not a national holiday. What is it about? What kind of holiday is it?
Hello, thank you for inviting me. Vyshyvanka Day is not a religion holiday. It wasn't a festival like 3 years ago. In 2006, a girl named Lesa in Chernivtsi University suggested to wear Vyshyvanka with some of her friends, like to respect our culture, I don't know. And then in few years, it became like Ukrainian or international festival. Vyshyvanka is in our DNA. I don't know. It's our origin. It respects all that I don't know we have. There are a lot of symbols in Vyshyvanka. They have a lot of meanings for us.
Katarina, how important is that holiday for Ukrainians?
I would say it's very important because, to me personally, I'm far away from my family.
Go ahead.
To me, important. Yes, sorry. So I'm being far away from my family. I take any opportunity to connect with my Ukrainianness and with my roots. And especially now, I think it's very important to show that we are here. We have been here for thousands of years, and we're going to be standing. And I think, walking here in New York, sometimes you see people wearing a small Ukrainian flag, and that cheers me up personally a lot. And so, to me, wearing Vyshyvanka, especially today, is very important because it shows who I am, and it also shows support to people who, might feel alone and frustrated, especially, because we are so far away from home.
Olena, where are you? And the same question, what does Vyshyvanka Day mean to you?
Hello, my dear friends. I'm in the center of Lviv, and here I met your Polish volunteers and also our friend activists, Vito Nadashkevich, and we are met here to celebrate Vyshyvanka Day, to talk to each other about our plans, about how Polish people help Ukraine in this war, and also to take some holiday, because when it's war on the street, this is very difficult on your mind. And when we just stay together and gather everybody, we feel us much better. Yes, am I say right, my friend?
Yes.
Well, before we continue
I will show you much people here. Yes,
before we continue our conversation, I would like for you and for our viewers to hear a message from President Zelensky on that special day.
I wish you health, strong, unbreakable, brave, and free. Happy Vyshyvanka Day, Ukraine.
Україну.
So, Emma, prior to the war, how was this holiday celebrated in Ukraine?
We were really united before the war, but in 2015, like this holiday was celebrating with a slogan, "Give a Vyshyvanka to defender," to help like the spirit, to make the spirit biggest for our defenders in the start of Russo-Ukrainian war. And in 2011, when it was 5-year anniversary of this holiday. In Chernivtsi, 4,000 of people gathered, and this festival was in like Genius records, world records. It was the biggest festival of Vyshyvanka nowadays.
Now, before we return to my guest from Lviv and New York, let's take a look at how Vyshyvanka Day was celebrated in Warsaw's Old Town. And this is live footage from Warsaw. We see that there are a lot of people actually taking part during these celebrations. Now, let's talk about New York. Katerina, you're in New York. I know Ukrainians are celebrating this holiday. What about New Yorkers, people that are not related to Ukraine?
First of all, we have a huge community of Ukrainians here in New York, and they have been going and organizing different events and going to protest and, sending aid to Ukraine and accepting people from Ukraine. So the community is quite big here. But also, I would say that there's widespread support, from everyone, from Polish people, from Americans themselves, from all, you can feel that the city is united. And a lot of people, even if they don't have a Vyshyvanka, they would, wear Ukrainian colors, they would take some posters and come to the protest with us. So it's, I think that Ukraine has been a topic and continues to be a topic, and especially today, there's going to be protests and there's going to be concerts. So yeah, people are celebrating, definitely.
But I think this day also became an opportunity to show more support for Ukraine, because a lot of people that are not Ukrainians are actually wearing embroidered shirts. Am I right? Is it the same in New York?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, because it's quite interesting, right? Like through our community, there are so many people who, for example, are married to Ukrainians or who have Ukrainian part of the family, and they have Vyshyvanka, so maybe they never had them before, but now they start to get them. So it's quite interesting to see how diverse and how everyone from all over the world, even without speaking Ukrainian, wears our traditional clothes.
Now, Olena, you are in Lviv. Please show us and tell us what is happening there right now. What type of celebrations are taking place?
So very much people are going in Vyshyvankas. You can see them all here, and also we've got some statues. They are now covered because of the war, and they could be broken. And you can see also pieces of broken plants. So you see, our holiday is completed with we feel holidays and war at the same time. But when we are wearing Vyshyvankas and walking on the streets, see our friends, see different people, we feel us in much holidays. Hi. And you see that people are open for communication. They hear that I'm speaking English and they see that I'm showing Lviv and also trying to tell you something.
Now, Emma, is this holiday, in the face of what is happening in Ukraine, more important than before?
Yeah, I think yes, because it's uniting Ukraine this holiday. Vyshyvanka is uniting Ukrainians because, as I said earlier, it's in our DNA. It shows our origin. For example, in region from I am from Ukrainian Ivano-Frankivsk region, from Kalush. We have embroidered T-shirts with red and black colors, and it shows our fighting from like 300 years ago, from Stepan Bandera and so on and so forth.
Now let's watch a moving video prepared by Ukrainian journalists about Vyshyvanka Day.
Сьогодні a lot of pain lives inside of us, but there is much more love. love lives under a doctor's apron, under heat-resistant overalls, a volunteer's vest, a gown, an apron, a bulletproof vest, under a green pleated blouse. Ukraine is indivisible because it is sewn together by a strong thread of love that permeates us all.
And Katerina, back to you. How many Ukrainians left from Ukraine to the United States, to New York, perhaps?
I mean, so far, the United States just recently rolled out the program of how refugees can go and come to the United States. And I think so far it's been around 20,000 people, because this program is something special. It had to be rolled out quite quickly. So it's not the typical refugee program that the United States would have. And this program is mainly powered by the volunteers. But so a lot of people, just locals, Americans, and even my colleagues, you know, they want to help, they want to host people. And so far it's been around 20,000 people and more to come.
Now, Olena, the same question as I asked Emma, do you think this holiday, during this critical situation for Ukraine, is this holiday more important than before?
You know, in Lviv, this holiday was also popular the whole time because here we are very close to our traditions. And for example, if you will see my Vyshyvanka, you see untraditional color, violet. By the way, I bought it in the mountains nearby Kalush, but it's not a typical color. But in this year, we can see many people from other countries in Lviv. This is volunteers, as I showed you. This is journalists, and they also beginning learn our history closer because they heard, oh, Ukraine, it's far away. And now when they come to us, they buy Vyshyvankas, they also wear it, and they all say that they feel themselves different than before. I mean, then when you dress Vyshyvanka, first you choose the one that you will like, and that it makes you more powerful, more sure in yourself. It opens your soul from inside. This is not only my words and feelings, this is words and feelings from people who come here and help us celebrate this day, also Polish people.
Well, thank you for that. And now let's take a look at what is happening again in Warsaw, in the old town. See that people are dancing and singing. And these are the winners of this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Would you say, Emma, that winning of the singers boosted your morale even more?
Yeah, for me special because I'm from Kalush. It's my hometown. I know, like, friends of mine were in the same school with Oleg, the singer from Kalush Orchestra, and I think it's really important for all of us, for all of Ukrainians, because it helps our spirit. We become more united than ever, and Oleg also said words about Mariupol, about Azovstal, and I think it helped Azovstal and Mariupol.
Katerina, what about the celebrations in New York? I don't think I asked you that. Are there any concerts or events happening?
Oh yeah, there are a lot of concerts. So one of them is in Carnegie Hill, for example, and then there is Ukrainian House, Ukrainian Community House. They have constant concerts. There also has been concerts in the New York Opera House, and then all proceeds were donated to Ukrainian aid. And there are also a lot of small things that are happening, like small musicians, or artists. They come here and they show their talent and show their support. So a lot of things are happening with big and small names.
Now, Olena, on the streets of Lviv, we see many people are smiling. Would you say that morale of people in Ukraine are pretty good?
Morale is changing because you see lions, they are clothed also in Vyshyvankas. Lion is the symbol of Lviv, but the Ratusha is all crossed. It means that we are the whole time waiting for the rockets. And for example, when we hear alarm, all our good feelings is going down. Then alarm finishes. Some hours we need to recover, or some 10, 12 hours. And then after that, our spirit is beginning to rise again. And so we live in this American attraction, you know. But I see that such kind of holidays, they help us, everybody, to feel us closer and keep hold on in this situation.
And well, let's take a look at another video that we have prepared for you about Vyshyvanka Day.
Кожна вишиванка – символ незламності та відродження України. Ми загоїмо свої рани, прикрасимо квітами шрами. Знов розквітне українська доля, наче маки в полі. Україна – вишите відродження. Сильні, незламні, вільні.
Now, Emma, you're a young person. Did you expect ever in your lifetime that you would witness such atrocities happening in your country?
I don't think so. I was always keen on history of Ukraine. I'm really, I don't know, patriotic in my young years, but I can't imagine that one day I will woke up and see on my phone the war has come, and like how it is possible in 21st century.
Now, Katerina, you are all the way in New York. How are New Yorkers reacting to this war?
Well, when it all started, I remember that day, the 21st of February, I woke up and I saw the news, and the first thing that I did, I called my manager. I said, I can't come to work. And I just went to the protests, and that's how I spent my 3 days. And it was incredible to see how everyone was in the same, everyone was in the shock state, but then so many people came to support us, you know, people who are Ukrainians who just moved in recently or who've been here for generations. And then, you know, how we would walk and how we would protest. And it still continues. The amount of fundraising that people are doing, the amount of, you know, the support is incredible. You go to even the smallest towns and you see, you know, that some small coffee shop and they would have Ukrainian flag. And it's incredible to, you know, it's very sad that the war news brought Ukraine to the world, but it's incredible to see how people from all, you know, corners support us.
Now, Olena, we hear there are reports that Ukrainian refugees are returning to Ukraine. Do you see that on the streets of Lviv?
Yes, I see that people are coming back, and you can see who was here from the beginning and who turned back. And there is a difference because people who left Ukraine, they feel themselves not good because they had to run. They was very scared, and we call them to spend our time together with us. And for example, when we had Easter, there wasn't enough people turned back, and today it's much more people in Lviv, and we can take them closer to us. So yeah, very much people are coming back.
But are people in Lviv scared, afraid?
People of Lviv also was running, even for the first days of war here wasn't a military situation, we had only explosions. But people was also running. I mean, when you begin to run, you run from every corner of Ukraine, because this is very big scare. You scare for you, for your life, for life of your children, and you don't think in that moment, you only start to run. And now people who wasn't so much afraid, we stayed here, and now we help people who ran away to come back to our socium and have such reparation of this trauma in your soul.
Now, Emma, how do you...
we're singing songs together.
Go ahead, continue.
Singing songs together, dancing, even when it's sad songs, no matter. The main thing is to stay close to each other. And this way, our broken hearts, our broken souls will be repaired. Yeah.
So are there any concerts right now taking place in Lviv?
Sorry, say again.
Are there any concerts taking place right now in Lviv?
Yes, but not big concerts, just musicians on the streets, and it's also musicians, for example, from Kharkiv, who ran from Kharkiv to Lviv. They try to get some money, and they are playing. I know music is very good for us. For the first time, you think, "Oh, I cannot be happy. I must be sad." But music is rising your emotions, and when your emotions are rising, you become more stronger. So you can hear, even in my bag, they are playing different musicians, and it's very good to listen to them. It's musicians from different corners of Ukraine, not only Lviv musicians.
Now, Emma, how do you think next year's Vyshyvanka Day will look like? What's your predictions?
I hope next year's Vyshyvanka Day will be in peace, with a lot of smiling people, with no deaths, with big concerts.
Well, also Eurovision Song Contest is awaiting you, right?
Maybe Eurovision Song Contest will be on Vyshyvanka Day. I hope it will take place in Kyiv or in independent Ukrainian Crimea, or Donetsk or Luhansk, or in Kalush. Our hometown is really small, but why not? And I hope it will be like really kind, really homely festival. I think all of Ukrainians will be really glad to be in independent, without bombs Ukraine on Vyshyvanka Day.
Oh, for sure. Now, Katerina, the same question to you. What's your predictions for next year?
Well, my prediction is me and all my friends will be in Ukraine, and we will be celebrating and singing together, you know, and I'm sure that's how it's going to be. I believe, you know, in Ukraine, in our nation and army, and I believe that next year we're all going to be united all together.
Katerina, do you miss Ukraine and Europe?
Oh, I do miss Ukraine. I do miss Ukraine a lot. I think it's, you know, I'm counting days and saving all my vacations. So when the time allows, I can come and just, you know, do anything, like really help rebuild in any city. Because, you know, so Ukraine is, sure, you know, I'm from specific city, but yeah, all Ukraine is my home. And, you know, I'm just waiting for the day when I can be helped to in any part of it.
Would you say that you appreciate Ukraine even more than before? Did you take it for granted?
I would say so. Yeah, I think so. I think recently I've picked up cross stitching as well, because you know, it's something that I didn't understand before. And my grandma, she was like cross stitching all the towels, and like, you know, she had also Vyshyvankas that she made by herself. And I was never like, well, why are you doing this? But now somehow I think, you know, it helps me to relieve my sadness, and it helps me to connect with who I am. So absolutely, yes.
Well,
I appreciate it way more.
I also think that situation like this in Ukraine also shows how important are traditions. Olena, what do you think?
I think that next Vyshyvanka Day we will celebrate with the whole world, with the whole civilized world who stays with Ukraine now, and every person in the earth will have its own Vyshyvanka, and it will be a symbol of freedom, of humanity, of non-Nazism, non-Russism, nothing that kills us at the moment. Vyshyvanka will be a symbol of all people at the new earth when the war will stop. And I hope that this will be the last war in our earth. And we will grow our humanity through the symbolic everyone in our country.
Now, Emma, many young people, well, not even young people, but many people do not pay attention to history, to tradition. And as I was saying, the situation like this, which is happening in Ukraine, do you think it wakes the need to learn about traditions?
I think, yeah, because in Ukraine, all of us, all of young people, not young people, all of Ukrainians are proud of our history. We all know, like, about Kyiv, about Knyaghinya Olha, about Taras Shevchenko, and so on and so forth. We were proud, but now I think we will be briefly in that questions. We will, as for me, I will read some more history about Ukraine, because I want to know why, for example, Katerina II made a кріпацтво in Ukraine. Why? For what? For killing Ukrainians? For I don't know. Why? I think Russians, like in centuries, were killing, fighting with us, Russificating us. That's why, like in Mariupol, I think not 30, like 300 years ago, all people were speaking Ukrainian.
Olena, Katerina, Emma, thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you all the best on this special day for you. And thank you for watching Ukrainian Perspective.
Thank you too.
Stay with us for more news and comments.
За що і чому ви?